How's it going, everyone? It's Caleb here, and today we're going to be talking about Shrek, Smash and Crash Racing. And this game is on the PlayStation 2, and I picked it up just on a whim. I saw it in the store. I didn't know that there was a Shrek racing game on the PlayStation 2. I knew that there was a board game, which I did pick that up as well, and I want to play through that, do a video on it as well, but I didn't know that there was a racing game. So I picked it up, I played through it, unlocked everything, and we're going to talk about it today. And the first thing I gotta say is that this game is better than it should be, okay? This game is actually a lot of fun. I was very surprised. I didn't expect it to be good. I thought it was probably just going to be some shovelware crap. But no, it is actually a good game. It's a fun racing game. And it's a little bit unique compared to everything else because the vehicles in this are basically momentum-based, which is really cool. The more speed you pick up, you're going to keep going that speed, but if you bump into a wall, it's going to slow your character down, and you have to build up your momentum again and build up that speed again. And that's pretty cool. You don't usually see that from racing games, at least kart racing games, I should say. You go downhill, you start picking up speed a little bit, you can go through these different little speed boost areas, you can pick up obstacles just like you do in other kart racing games, and you have a fantastic cast of characters. You actually have a lot of characters. There's a lot of characters to start with, and then there's a lot of characters to unlock as well. Of course, I had to play as my favorite the majority of the time, Puss in Boots. When I unlocked him, that's who I was the rest of the game. But I did enjoy the variety of characters. There are an absolute just ton of characters from the Shrek movies here. So if you are a fan of the Shrek movies, which I feel like a lot of people like these movies. I mean, there wouldn't be 4 of them and then spin-offs if people didn't like them. So if you're a fan of the Shrek movies, you'll definitely be happy with how many characters are in this game. You get to ride the dragon as Donkey. That sounds weird because they're married. Just ignore that. But you get to play Donkey and ride his dragon wife. There's no good way to say that, okay? There's no good way to say that, so I'm just going to leave that there. You get to play as Shrek, and this wand in the beginning of the story turns a slug into a bigger animal, and he's able to ride that. It's crazy stuff. Basically, there is a story, kind of. Basically, Donkey finds... I think it's Donkey. Yeah, it's Donkey. He finds a wand, and he wants to make breakfast. But instead of making breakfast, he accidentally just starts making things into vehicles and bigger animals and stuff. Or even smaller animals, because he shrinks his wife. And basically because of this wand, they decided to have a race after that. I don't know. I didn't say it was a good story, I just said it had a story, or it had a reason to exist. But either way, you know what, it's still a fun game. It doesn't need a reason to exist, it doesn't need a great story, it just needs to be fun, and that's what this game is. It's just a fun time. All the tracks are very well designed. I liked every single one of them. After you play through them, you actually can do them all in the mirrored version as well. And usually I don't like the mirrored courses because they're just literally just the same tracks just flipped. However, in this game, they actually are pretty fun. I actually like the mirrored courses for some reason. I don't really know why. It just felt right. There's no good way to describe that. For some reason, though, most mirrored courses to me just feel kind of like a lazy tacked on thing. But they just work in this game. And I think it's also because there's so many tracks to begin with. Like, they give you a decent amount of tracks to play with anyway, and then they just have all the tracks mirrored anyway, so it's just a lot. It's a lot of extra stuff that they didn't need to put in there, but they did, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate that they went above and beyond to put extra, content in this game. You can pick through a few different stories. There's the actual main story, which is how you unlock all the characters and all the tracks and everything. And basically, you're just marathoning Grand Prix in that mode. You can pick an actual Grand Prix to just race through, or you can pick single races as well. And if you hate yourself, there is a time trial. I don't know anyone who does time trials in real life, but if you enjoy time trials, hey, it's here for you. But yeah, there's quite a bit here, and it's all enjoyable. The game itself actually looks pretty decent for a PlayStation 2 game as well. I thought that it was pretty colorful. I like the way that the environments look around you. Obviously, it's set in the Shrek universe, so you get this very fantasy-style world, this very, fairy tale and folk tale style world to race around in. You get to go down the gigantic beanstalk from Jack and the Beanstalk and stuff like that. You get to go through this cemetery and you can see the ghost of one of the Shrek characters. It's that little short guy from the first movie who I can't remember his name off the top of my head. You get to see Gingy, the gingerbread man, as a giant in one of the tracks. There's a lot of references to the movies. There's a lot of references to other fairy tales. There's just a lot of good stuff here. And you should definitely check this game out because it's really cheap. I picked this game up for $7. So if you can find it for about like $7-10, pick it up, play it. It's worth it for that. In fact, like this game, I would go as far as to call it as a hidden gem. I'm not going to call it that on the video, but it is a hidden gem. This game is good. I also really like the way that whenever you're playing one of the actual animal characters, like if you're playing Shrek and you're riding on this gigantic four-legged slug thing that Donkey made, I like that whenever you're riding on that, it actually feels like you're riding an animal, if that makes sense. It doesn't control like a car does in a kart racing game. It controls like an animal would, like how you would think an animal would. That's how it controls. Like it controls like a horse or something, you know? In any game that has a horse, think of a game like that, and that's how these vehicles and these characters and these monsters and all these different rides, that's how they control. They control like horses in other video games. So, you know, you play Skyrim, for example, it kind of feels like that a little bit. A little bit more slidey. The characters slide a little bit more, but I like that because that's part of that momentum thing. So if you're going too fast, you may turn a corner and you may slide up a wall a little bit. But still, really good. I like the way it feels. It feels very unique compared to everything else. There's nothing quite like it out there, and I really think that if you have not played this game, you should give it a shot. I am definitely happy I did, and I cannot recommend this game enough. So, go play Shrek, Smash and Crash Racing. I will talk to you in the next video. You have a fantastic day now. Bye-bye.